Before I start any build in The Sims 4, I usually already have some sort of color scheme idea. However, today I thought that maybe we could try to switch things up and use a color palette generator to help us decide what to build. And also, as you can see, my cat is here. I believe that the original creator of this challenge idea is SidMax, so I will leave their channel down in the description. Please check them out. They make amazing builds. This is the website we're gonna be using. It is called coolers.co, and when we press start the generator, we can see that it shows us 5 different colors. So what I think I'm gonna do is that I'm going to close my eyes and I don't know, let's pick number 3. So we're gonna randomize it 3 times, and whatever it lands on, I have to build. Let's close the eyes and I'm gonna press spacebar 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So we have black, very dusty green, and then just green. It's just a green build. You know, I feel like I would be able to do some sort of spellcaster house with that. I am trying to figure out an idea for it, but I think I got it. I think we're gonna try to go for something Victorian-esque. Let's launch The Sims 4 and also get my headphones on. I don't think I'm gonna be limiting myself with any packs, to be honest, especially because we have to use preferably at least 1 item in every single color. So maybe that's what I should do first. We can try to find at least one thing that kind of matches with the color scheme that we're going for and work our way up from there. Since I am thinking of some sort of spellcaster dark Victorian house that, you know, Glimmerbrook seems like the good place to go for. I'm going to put the color scheme on the screen so that you can see it, and let's start by picking 1 item for each. So we're gonna start off with onyx. I honestly would just go for some sort of black floor. Next we have Hooker's green, which is that dusty green. I wonder, do we have any walls in such color? That has, I think, a bit warmer undertone. It's not exactly it. This is not exactly the same color, but I feel like it's the closest one that I can think of right now, unless we can try to find some other swatches. I think this is the closest one, especially because we mostly have pastel swatches in The Sims. There's not that many darker ones. We could maybe make exterior walls with that, because that's kind of like concrete. I can work with that. Next we have celadon, and I believe we can find some sort of rug in this color. This is the same color. I don't know about you, but I feel like it's the most similar, but the lighting on this lot is kind of wonky, to be honest with you, but I do believe that the original swatch of this rug at the bottom especially, it's that exact color. Or I guess this one. Now we have an emerald. Is there a green emerald chair or a bed? I'm noticing we don't really have a lot of minty shades that are in a warmer tone, because as you can see, this is kind of like minty green, but it has a cooler undertone, and that emerald swatch we're looking at, it's a bit warmer. Now this is a bit too yellow. Okay, can I find something? This is decently close enough. Not the bed frame, but the bedding itself. So that's the 4th color, and the 5th one is an aquamarine. This should be a little easier to find. That seems similar to me. It might be a little tiny bit darker. It might also be the lighting, because Glimmerbrook has a little bit of greenish lighting to it, but I kind of don't mind it considering that our color scheme is just green. I think I can work with that. So if we assembled that into a room, not gonna lie, the furniture feels very starkingly bright compared to the floors, but I think that that can be saved if we use a lot of black furniture as well. So we could use a black nightstand, the window frames could be black as well. I think we can work with this. As I mentioned, I am envisioning something very dark Victorian, so let's try to come up with some sort of floor plan. We could have the entryway kind of like that, babe. And then a little tower. I guess the stairs could go easily just like that. I guess this is kind of acceptable. It saves up a lot of space. This potentially could be a bathroom. Here you would go into the living room. Though I kind of like the idea of a kitchen being here, but now something just doesn't feel right. If you have been watching any of my previous videos, then you will know that I personally enjoy a bit more closed off floor plans, but this space would kind of work nicely with something a bit more open, which is not ideal because I don't want to do that. We could make 2 bedrooms upstairs if I can squeeze them kind of nicely. Not sure how I feel about this shape of a room, to be honest. I think that once we put in the roof and the windows, this is just going to look more normal, perhaps. Should it be curved a tiny bit like this? You know, as a witch house, it just really screams open floor plan to me, but I don't like open floor plans. Yeah, the floor plans, even though I enjoy doing them, but I do think that it's always a struggle. So if you ever feel bad about not being able to do floor plans, don't worry. We all kind of have an issue with that. Maybe that's a little tiny bit better. So that could be the kitchen. It's still an open floor plan though. Maybe I can redo the floor plan then if that's the case. This would be the living room, right? Kinda, maybe. The kitchen and a little dining room. Very, very small. Am I okay with this or am I really hating it? I can't decide just yet. I may or may not have bulldozed a lot. I'm just not satisfied with it, okay? Something's just constantly wrong. It was the tower. So what if we start slow and put the tower instead of on the very edge? Hold on. Maybe this is working. I need to finish the roof. It certainly looks better than before. My cat, I can hear her meowing, and she went to see my mom because she wants attention. So I led her to my mom's room, and then she was like, actually, I don't want to be here anymore. So I'm like, then what do you want? We have this little cross thingy over here. I don't know what I think about it. I don't think I've ever had something like that, but I think this could be the kitchen, this as the living room, so maybe this archway should be here, and then this is the dining room. I don't know if I want completely black windows or black and white. Okay, did I finally get the floor plan right? It's not as I would want it to be, but I'm kind of exhausted. I've been doing the floor plan for 1.5 hours. I think I'm finally getting somewhere. Oh, do you see this? This black is way more of a warmer shade than this one. If I added a dark foundation, I do need to put that green on the outside walls though. I do think the columns need to be fully black. I don't want to use too many other colors than what the palette was telling us to. But I would say that black and white are always the exceptional colors that you can always add, even if your palette is telling you otherwise. I guess we could put some stone accents all over the house in general too. You know, the more I do this, the more I'm confused whether I love it or hate it. It's not bad, but it's just so out of my comfort zone because I normally try to build lighter colored stuff. I just simply prefer it, like pastel builds or even neutral color scheme. And I would also add just those classic get-together columns as a little touch-up detail. We need more details on the build because it is looking a bit plain because of all that green. Oh wait, why is it changing the color? That's weird. I've never seen that before. I don't normally have my Sims houses be completely fenced in, also in the front, but I'm thinking that maybe it's gonna work here if it's in the front too. Scary witchy house, completely fenced in, and also that new fence from Life and Death really fits in here. The spikes, just in general, the vibe. Let's add some bushes all over and also figure out what I'm doing with the backyard. I guess it would be fun if we had a greenhouse. So which door do we go for to pretend. Kind of match it. No, not really. This just needs to be painted. Maybe it could be a darker color. At least it feels more realistic for a greenhouse. The house is not going to be super overgrown, but maybe the greenhouse is. Because I said so. Yeah, actually, I think that does look a little better. It's distracting from the fact that it's kind of not pretty. Fortunately, because the house is taking up most of the space on the lot, there's not that much landscaping that I can do. Maybe I can add just a few white pops of color, because this tree already has those, I don't even know, these are flowers or something. Though I realized that this landscaping is very similar to basically all of my other landscaping. Maybe I just need to start working on diversifying in that aspect as well. But at the same time, I feel like I need to tackle one goal at a time. Right now, one of my goals is to be able to build more modern stuff, as modern things are not my strong suit at all. So maybe after I improve my modern builds, then I could tackle landscaping. I don't think I'm bad at it. I just tend to reach for the same things over and over again. I will say that this landscaping, even though it's very similar to my other ones, but I actually really like the way it looks over here specifically. I think it's because it's tying in the color scheme and it's making the house look a tiny bit more magical. That is done, and I would add maybe some flower pots. Hopefully the inside's gonna go, a bit faster. It's been 2.5 hours. Let me know how long it usually takes you to build a house. For sure, when I'm recording and streaming, as I'm commenting stuff that I'm doing live, it takes at least 2 times longer than normally. But normally, I think I can make one build within around 3 hours. Which is why I'm so surprised that this one is taking me so long. But then again, I did bulldoze it, so that might be why. This umbrella table, because it does match the aquamarine shade that we need to use, which that wouldn't be my first choice, I'm not gonna lie, for this, but I think I can make it work. If we combine it with matching chairs. Okay, I've put all of the bushes finally in here so that it is not empty and you can, pretend that your Sims are the ones that grew them. Let's move on to the inside finally. The entryway, I really want to put some paneling. I wish there was a plain swatch of this paneling as well, because it's so gorgeous but not very versatile for putting it in a lot of the rooms. The thing with dark floors, and it's also the main reason why I don't really use those dark floors in my Sims houses, is because it makes the entire thing look so dark and you need to use more lights than you normally would. One of my favorite rooms to decorate for some reasons are in fact bathrooms, and I think it's because they're just so simple. You don't usually over decorate it, and also because I do usually add some sort of accent color on the walls, then I don't feel like the room is kind of missing something thanks to that. I'm noticing that out of all of the colors that I've used so far, we have the least amount of stuff that are in this emerald shade. As you can see, most of the things over here, they're more in the cooler tones of greens. And when you do have something that is warmer, then let me show you, for example, on this towel, we have this shade. This also is a cooler shade, and then you go straight up into something like this, which is more of like a mustard green. So there's lots of yellow undertones. This is genuinely the only item that so far I found that actually has this emerald shade that we're looking for. So a bright minty color, but with a warm undertone. I like giving my Sims some entryways that also would be realistic. So usually they have some sort of wardrobe, a mirror, a sitting place. So as you can see, something like this, we have a dresser, some shoes, mirror, a chair, coat rack, all of these things. The entryway is finished. Now let's go ahead and furnish the dining area. I'm thinking whether this round table is going to fit in here. I really want it to fit. Oh, wait. Why are those windows black on the outside but white on the inside, huh? These are black on both outside and inside. Why are those? That makes no sense. Even if I change it like that, look at this. That the inside is black, it's still white on the inside, huh? Has that always been a thing? Granted, I haven't really been using the darker swatches on the windows, so I never knew that. I'm having trouble with trying to figure out what to do with this space, as it is kind of small, but also kind of empty. First of all, maybe putting some black curtains to cover those white windows would be the first step. Maybe a mirror on the wall. Kitchen dome. I have an idea. I don't know if I'm gonna use the colors that I've put in here. What I wanted to do is check if those vampire ones look good. I'd say that is similar to that Hooker's green shade. So what if we made a kitchen base off of that? I like the combination of those cabinets with the floor. Yeah, it adds a bit more of a moody tone to the house. Oh, those herbs would be lovely to put in here. Yeah, because if it's supposed to be a witchy house, then we gotta incorporate more witchy things in here. I guess we could have a little breakfast nook in here. This table is not gonna be very usable for us. We could just deck it out with some decorations. And this area I think is finished. As for the living room, should we add maybe 2 chairs instead of a second couch? What if we try to make some sort of built-in bookcase? Oh, even something like that. Hold on. It looks very intentional. It also covers a lot of the space in here, so I don't have to worry about decorating it that much. I'm still going to decorate it a little. I really like it. I think I'm gonna do this built-in bookcase TV nook way more often, especially in this black swatch, because it actually looks good together. Because I believe I've tried to make that same exact thing, but in white. The white of the bookshelf does not look good with this white, at least in my opinion. I guess we don't really need bookshelves anymore that much. Maybe just above the desk we can have a few books. Fills in the space, looks cute. And I believe we have 2 last rooms, which, to be honest with you, I actually haven't played with the spellcasters even once, because this is a relatively new pack for me, as I have purchased it on the Christmas sale, I believe, or was it on Black Friday? Whatever it is, I haven't used it that much, really. So I don't even know what type of objects you need. Maybe I do need to make this room black. Maybe that looks better. Maybe we don't need ceiling lights in this room. We have so many other light sources that I think it's fine. Lastly, the bedroom. This should be pretty easy, as I already kind of know what I want to do. We need to place some matching lights and then figure out some custom decorations. It just always looks so much better when you try to custom place objects, even though I know it's kind of a lot of pain to do. But I do feel like those little details are the ones that in the long run completely change the way that your Sims house looks like. I guess it just doesn't look like a sad empty box anymore. It feels like it has a personality. Well, whoever lives here sure has a really beautiful window view. They can look down onto their greenhouse, and then over here that lake. Oh, that's so gorgeous. This dresser is genuinely one of my favorite objects in the game. I use it in most of the houses that I built, and I'm probably not going to stop because it's just so good. It's a perfect size. It has good basic color swatches, fits a lot of different types of architecture styles. I think I've completed this entire build. So let me show you what we got going on. As a reminder, this is the color palette that we had to use. We had to use 5 different colors. One was black and the other ones were just different shades of green. So this is what I came up with. Our little witchy house. I just imagine 2 witches at some point running away from society to just live their best life somewhere in the woods. I absolutely love the landscaping. This is the greenhouse. I have filled it fully with some produce if you want to grow your own plants. We have a little grilling area, and when you first walk into the actual house, there is the entryway, a little bathroom on the side. On the right, you go into the dining area. There's not a lot of chairs because, well, first of all, there's not a lot of space in here, but also since I imagine that only 2 Sims live in here, they don't really need that many chairs. Here is the kitchen, one of my favorite parts I think about this place. Especially I love this little breakfast nook, and then down this way we have the stairs for the next floor, and also the living room with that awesome custom built shelf area. Now upstairs there's the stairs landing with an office slash cat zone area. We also have a cauldron room for your wishes to do actual magic. This one probably is the saddest looking room out of all of them, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't really feeling inspired for it. But the next room though is probably my second favorite. It is the bedroom. I decided to size this get together picture up one time, and I feel like it really fits the exact vibe of this room. It has a little bit of that older look to it that has been preserved really well. And they also have their own suite bathroom, which is huge, so that's why they have the corner tub, because that's what I do when I have very large bathrooms. I put corner tubs in them. If you want to download this lot, it is called Green Witch House, and my username is katodeling. If you're curious about how long it took me in total to build it, it was over 4 hours, so kind of a long one. And I want to ask you, how long does it take you to build a house usually? Because if it takes like around the same time, I'm genuinely gonna feel relieved that I'm not the only one who just spends way too much time on building Sims houses.